Yeah, we delve into the intricacies of characters. We explored the fundamental elements of crafting, compelling characters, background, and personalities. We considered how this facet contribute to building a rich and immersive character that can drive a mystery narrative forward. By understanding the roles their characters play within this mystery genre, we gain insight into how to effectively construct a diverse cast that will engage and captivate readers or viewers. Audience, I'm sure that you would have been taking back a great spark of thoughts and ideas that were shared by our guests on the topic of this session. At this moment, I would like to thank the Times of India for their support in powering this session of 6th edition of Orange City Literature Fest 2024. Thank you so much for joining us. We will meet you tomorrow. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Chandni gave quite a bit of an introduction to it. So before we begin, Malika before me asked, which classes are you? 7th, 8th, 9th? 10th. Great. Grade 11, great. Because I tend to write for your age group mostly. So what I like to do is, whenever I do any session, I just like to show you all a little bit about myself. She already said, so I've written more than 45 novels. So I enjoy writing horror, romance, and fiction for children and teenagers. So some of my books, I don't know how many are available in the bookstore. This is one of my earliest young adult novels. It's called When She Went Away. It's a story of this young girl, Maria, whose mother one day decides to just leave the family and go without any explanation whatsoever. Then this one, Asmara's Summer. So the popular teenager, Asmara, she has to live with her grandparents in a very down market locality of Bangalore. And her parents have gone to Canada. She wanted to go to Canada, but for some reason she couldn't, and she's stuck with her grandparents. Legend of the Wolf, one of my horror novels for children. So these students go on an excursion. So everyone loves going on excursions, right? All of y'all, where do you all usually go? Where do your schools send you? Anyone? Tell me. So wherever your schools are taking you for these excursions, in this story, students on an excursion to Chikmagalur, which is like a hill station sort of place in Karnataka. So they find that they're being targeted by the legendary wolf of the forest that hasn't been seen in decades. So no one knows where this wolf came from. Then this is a time-traveling trilogy. So a teenager from present day goes back in time 20 years accidentally, and she falls in love with a boy from that time. And when she comes back, so she sees her mother as a teenager, she sees her grandmother, she sees her aunts, and she meets this boy. But she doesn't know where he is in present. As in, there is no corresponding person for him in present. So that's a 3-book series published in 2014. Then Scarewalk, what Chandni just now talked about. So Scarewalk is a graphic horror novel. How many of you enjoy those haunted houses, attractions in a mall and all that? Has anyone gone in those things? So once you go inside, all these things will fall on you, one hairy spider. So 4 teenagers walk into a haunted house attraction on the outskirts of the city. But what they don't know is that everything that's happening inside is happening for real. Then Asmara's Summer became Dil Dosti Dilemma on Amazon Prime. Can you play that thing? I don't think I can play it from here. How many of you have seen it till we drop?
Dad, can I please pick your pocket?
पिछले हफ्ते ही तो पैसे लिए थे तुमने।
आपको पता है यंग होना कितना महंगा है? Hair, skin, nails, lunch, brunch, dinner, after party club.
सबसे अलग है vibe मेरी।
मिलिए अस्मारा से, जिन्हें जाना तो था कनाडा, लेकिन एक गलती की वजह से
There's no Canada for you after this, Asmara.
अब तुम टिबरी रोड जाओगी और उस घर में रहोगी जहाँ तुम पैदा हुई थी।
अरे आओ मेरा देख के रिया, फुल साउंड फुल से फेरिया।
All set and headed for the airport? हाँ, बस ट्रैफिक में फंसी हुई हूँ। अरसे के बाद आई है मेरी बच्ची। अरे फरजान बेटा, नाश्ता करोगे?
नहीं नानी, मैं चलता हूँ, दुकान खोलनी है। लेकिन आपके हाथ की चाय पी सकता हूँ?
देखो बेटा, यहाँ ठीक है, लेकिन चाय पार्टी में ढंग के कपड़े पहनने होंगे।
आदाब एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द चाय पार्टी।
लो, बगावत की बिस्मिल्लाह हो गई।
लोग तुम्हें तुम्हारे कपड़ों के लिए जज करें वो गलत है, लेकिन तुम हमारे कपड़ों को जज करो वो सही है।
और क्या क्या झूठ बोला है तुमने अपने दोस्तों से?
Look at my view. See? Oh, fab hotel, babe.
मेरी बच्ची होती तो बदतमीज ना होती।
मैं उनसे माफी नहीं मांगूंगी।
तो तुम इस घर में नहीं रह सकती।
मुझे यहाँ रहना भी नहीं है।
कुछ पता नहीं है,
तुम यहाँ के होते हुए भी यहाँ के नहीं लगते।
सब मिला जुला है।
उसे हमारी दुनिया में संभलने का एक मौका तो दो।
आंटी, अख्तर बेगम, दादी,
नानी।
अब लगता है सब ठीक हो जाएगा।
अब खुला खुला
इस बच्चे ने तो बने बनाए काम पे पानी फेर दिया।
So, how many of you are going to go back and watch it? Everyone wants to watch it, right? It's a fantastic show, and if you watch carefully, I have a small cameo in the last episode. Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Amazon Prime, yes. So, and we come to this book, which won the Neve Book Award this year. It's been shortlisted for a few other awards as well. So, this is a story, the henna startup. The heroine's name is Abir Maqsood. She is angry. Her parents don't really take her education that seriously. They think it's a stopgap measure till she gets married. But she has big plans in her life, you know. Her mother is a henna artist who applies mehendi for brides before weddings and all that. And the story is about how Abir makes an app to help her mother streamline her business. Okay, finally, we're coming to Everything Sucks. How many of you are on Instagram? How many? That's all? We just have 3 accounts in this entire room? Come on, you can tell me. You have Instagram accounts which you don't post anything on, but you're there to see, entertain yourself, right? So what do you really enjoy most on Instagram? Reels? You enjoy Reels? It's very entertaining. So, let's just, yeah. 1 second. We're going, okay, I went back. Yeah, can you play this? 1 sec, this one. Yeah, can you play this?
कल से मैं जा रहा हूँ जिम, तो जिसको भी मुझे पटाना हो ना, तो आज ही पटा ले.
This is supposed to be like one of the most popular videos on Instagram. This boy kicking the football. So I just compiled a random selection of videos, popular videos on Instagram.
Job. I love my job. I love my job.
Give me your chemistry copy. केमिस्ट्री की कॉपी मैम मैं रखने वाला था, घर पे भूल गया. स्केल कहाँ है मेरा? सॉरी मैम, सॉरी मैंने
Yeah. So, Reels have become such an important part of our life. You know, we are looking at them while we are eating, while we are bored, while we are traveling. It's entertainment. And one of the things, and I am a lot, you know, for my age, I am on Instagram a lot. So I'm also constantly looking at Reels. So what prompted me to write Everything Sucks? There are 2 things, which I haven't done many events for this book, so not many people know. One is something like this. Can you play this?
Why are men so insecure about their masculinity, man? You want to dance, just dance. Why do you need to put that caption? Like watching the video, tujhe kuch.
So, you know, you saw what she did. She she took someone's video and she added something to it. So that is what I saw a couple of videos where one Instagram influencer took down another Instagram influencer, and it got me thinking. Online, everything is very, everything seems possible. You can say any kind of things to anyone. They really won't be able to do anything, That's how trolls work, right? So this girl, I thought, what would happen if a popular Instagrammer did this to someone who's just starting out for whatever reason, and he gets back at her, and then she gets back at him. This goes back and forth. And what happens when they actually meet in person? So that was that was a possible thing. So this is a scene where, so the hero's name is Samir, the heroine's name is Kashish. Samir took the phone from him and stared at the reel of him kneading atta. So Samir is, in this book, we have our protagonist, Samir, who is an upcoming Instagrammer, who likes to post cooking reels and all that, videos of him cooking. And Kashish is like a huge Instagram influencer. She has 1 million followers already. So she saw him in one reel kneading atta, but he's doing this in a way that's, makes it look less like him kneading atta, but more like, something very sexy he's doing, and that irritates her. So she says, he stopped talking because he realized that someone had remixed his reel, and the moment his clip ended, it showed a girl dressed like he had been, with fake stubble on her chin and cheeks, doing everything he had been doing, but in an exaggerated way. Even the way he looked into the camera. She was wearing a cap backwards, and her over-the-top expressions were almost funny until he remembered that she was mocking him. So she was making fun of him. And I got thinking, what's real about reels? So much of what we see online, you see someone getting up, get ready with me. Do we stop to think that this get ready with me video has like half an hour, 1 hour of planning before it is set up? This is how I wake up, but this is not how she wakes up, So if a girl posts a video, this is how I wake up. So she's sitting up in bed and she's stretching, but who is taking those videos? It has to be set up in place, right? So it just kind of intrigued me, I wanted to think about writing a story where this distinction between real and fake, real and reels, it kind of collapses. So in this book, what happens, this is another popular Instagrammer. I don't know how many of you follow her, but she's from South India, and this is the way I actually talk at home, Yeah.
वालेकुम सलाम। आओ माँ आओ। ड्रेस अच्छा है ना बहुत, हाथ हम पूरे दिखते हैं लेकिन फुल स्लीव्स, हाँ लेकिन फुल स्लीव्स का कोई क्या फायदा, नेट कच ना है, हाँ ओढ़नी ऐसा हूँ डालियो, हाँ अब अच्छा है। ओ क्या माँ वो इज़ार ऊंची है, पाकिस्तानी स्टाइल, हाँ की, लेकिन हम यहीं सो इंडिया में, हाँ दरिया में पहनते नहीं, हमें उठा को ऊंचा वैसा है। ऐसे सब बोलो ना को तो मैं क्या बोला ली, नहीं मैं क्या तभी बुरा बोला ली क्या तुम ना, अच्छे के वास्ते इतना बोलते हो, हाँ कमीज खाली छोटी है तुम्हारी का तो तमीज भी कमीज है, हाँ नहीं लेकिन बहुत अच्छी बच्ची माँ, हाँ बोलते से बातें सब सुन लेती, हाँ अच्छी बच्ची, कब तो भी ऐसा ऐसा बोल डालती, अच्छी बच्ची है।
So why I use this clip is because in this book, Kashish becomes famous because of doing something like this. So she's pretty, she's beautiful, she's young, she's popular, she makes all these makeup reels, she makes all these get ready with me and all that. But one of the things that she's really popular for is her older sisters. She kind of mocks her older sister online. So she dresses up like her older sister, and her sister's name is Kinza, and she calls that character Auntie K. So that is a part of the story where, things begin to really heat up when her sister finds out that she's the inspiration for Auntie K. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the book. And when I was writing it, it made me realize, that today, what earlier, like say 20 years ago, we didn't have social media, at least not like this. Not so much in our faces all the time. Everyone, everywhere is on social media. But, and as much as we like to blame social media for a lot of things, it's also kind of, the modern stage for drama, for exploring identities. A lot of people, like the girl I just now showed you before this, Zoha Sanofer, until she started making her reels, no one knew that that is the type of Urdu that is spoken by a lot of people in Tamil Nadu and Bangalore. Everyone assumes that Urdu means we all talk the kind of Urdu you see in movies, you know, the ones that you might hear in Lucknow or, you know, Delhi, that is very, or in Pakistan. But the kind of Urdu we speak is the kind of Urdu that girl spoke. So I kind of, you know, it made me think that social media has made the world a much smaller place. It's made it possible for us to explore our identities and to put it forth in a way that people are proud of their identities. There's one more video, last video I have over here. So, you know, I really have to marvel at how these Instagrammers involve their families, involve their mothers, and, you know, everyone's a good sport about it. And, you know, this is not something I can ever imagine having done if I was this, you know, your age. So I think that the way social media has kind of made everything collapse, come together. So one of the things is that, you know, when you see these influencers, they might look beautiful, they might be like, you know, almost unapproachable, but you get to see them as they are sometimes. Sometimes these influencers will show you the real picture. It may or may not be true. So, you know, some of the things that you have to do, like, you know, you have to balance your online persona with real life challenges. And this is one of the things that I've explored in this book. So the book is about social media. As you can see in the cover, it has these people, it has these ring lights and everything. So it's a romance, by the way. So, but then there is more to it than that. Like I said, there is a story with her sister and her sister's relationship. So her sister is much older than her, and the kind of relationship they have with each other is something that I really enjoyed writing about in this book. So there's a little bit that I wanted to read. I've put it up over here, but I'll read it out anyway. So this is when the two of them meet in person. Okay, so until now, so she lives in Bangalore, he lives in Chennai. So she's gone to Chennai for a wedding and she meets him there. He didn't voice the thought, but he shrugged and kept his voice even. So this famous influencer decided to take me down a peg or two for some reason, he said, grinning. She rolled her eyes. I never apologized to you for that, she said, after a moment. There's no need to apologize, he said. You were trying something new and I made fun of you without a second thought. Sorry about that. She was gazing up at him. Somewhere in the region of his navel, it felt like his stomach had just decided to go into a free fall. Isn't that par for the course for Instagram? Isn't that what a lot of creators do? He asked. He'd been checking out Instagram more actively, and he noticed that what she'd done was tame in comparison to some of the more severe takedown videos creators made about other creators. She shrugged. Maybe, but I don't normally do that. So what was special about me? So he doesn't ask that, but he's thinking about it. Do you want me to read out what happens after that? Yeah. If he had been his brother, he would have blithely asked her. He really wished he was more like Sadeem, his brother. So anyway, that's in the past. What did you have in mind for this collab? So once they're meeting in person, they decide that it would actually be really nice if they were to, like, you know, do a collaboration. So two former enemies coming together and making a video that's going to get them a lot of views. So, what did you have in mind for this collab? She pursed her lips and didn't say anything at first. Then she spoke up. My friend thinks that it will let my audience see a glimpse of the real me. And you don't agree? She looked like she wanted to say more but couldn't bring herself to say it, which was surprising given how confident and sure she seemed in her videos. For a moment, he appreciated the chance to see her as she was without a mobile screen between them. He didn't know what he'd done to deserve it. Maybe we could do a couple of videos of you showing me around your city, she suggested. He cocked his head. That's a good idea, but how about we do one video each that shows our respective strengths? What do you mean, she asks, her eyebrows knitted. Your Auntie K videos are really hilarious, he said. Her face closed up immediately. Licking his lips, he went on, even though he struggled a bit to continue. Maybe we do a video of Auntie K with me, and you can do a cooking video with me and Amajan. So his thing is that he makes these cooking videos with his grandmother. So that's actually a very good idea, she said finally. Pleased, he exhaled softly. He'd been so anxious that she would shoot down his idea. He stopped. Great, good that we're on the same page, he said, clearing his throat. So this is what happens. So the whole story of them leading up to meeting each other, it's a bit of a coincidence, but not really also, because, a lot of families know each other. They happen to have the same common family friends, and that is how this happens. So I really don't have anything more to add to this. I just wanted to say that writing this book was a bit of a revelation for me too, because it made me realize, it made me think about social media in a very different way. And social media can be harmful, but it can also have a lot of strengths, advantages. And one of the things that, it made me think is that how often what we see on social media does not always have to be real, So some influencer showing a part of her life, so much of it is staged, when you go and look at behind the scenes. Even the behind the scenes are staged sometimes. So that is the world that we are living in. And with this book, I wanted to, so there is something that happens in this book where, unexpectedly they meet in real life, and even more unexpectedly, sparks fly between them. An unfortunate incident forces them to unplug from their phones, and they will need to figure out how to deal with life and relationships away from the screens. Is it possible to find a real friend, or someone more than a friend, in a world where reactions are staged? People pretend to date each other for the likes, and the only constant is that everything really, really sucks. So that is the crux of the story behind Everything Sucks, and I'm happy to answer any questions. You can ask me about anything. I'm cool with talking about whatever you want.
किसी को कोई question है? You can ask her about anything. You can ask about
Instagram. About my other books also.
Or all her books that she's written.
Yes, she has a question.
Okay.
There's a mic here.
Ma'am, is it available in crossword?
I don't know whether all these books are there. Some of them are older. The new ones should be there. Everything Sucks should be there.
Okay, so Everything Sucks should be there on Crosswords, or you can check it on Amazon. Everything Sucks, okay? We've heard a little bit of the summary of the book.
Yeah. So these are some of my books, but I don't know how many of them are available, So Asmara Summer is the one that's become Dil Dosi Dilemma.
Okay.
But
and that's on Amazon Prime,
yes,
right? So Dil Dosi Dilemma is another very interesting teenage series which is available on Amazon Prime. So you can all go and watch. And the best part is, these books are so teenage based, you'll be actually able to relate with all these books. कि आपको लगेगा अरे हाँ ये तो मेरे साथ भी हुआ है या मेरे साथ भी होता है. So you all have to read these books. All right?
And you can ask me we have a lot of time actually. Yeah. You can ask me any questions about, it can be about writing, it can be about any of my other books. Has anyone here read anything I've written? Any book by me? Not yet? Okay, it's time to change that.
Ma'am, can you give us a little introduction as to how you were introduced to writing and like what motivated you to into writing storybooks and how you worked your way up?
So my father loved to tell stories that he would make up on the spot. You know, so these were not stories from any books that he'd read. And he told us, me and my brother, that there is a book, one big red book from which I've read these stories. And we used to go looking for it, but we could never find it. We got to know that he was making up these stories on the go, you know. So I think a lot of it is hereditary. I've inherited that storytelling streak from him. And I was writing stories from the time I was 10 years old. When I was in school, I would write a lot of stories. I would tell stories. I would come, so there was this particular classroom when I was in 6th standard, which was a little far away from the main school building. It was a previous dormitory which had been converted into a classroom. So our class was very secluded whenever it started raining. And the time it would take from the teachers to come from the main building to our class, everyone would be talking, a lot of noise. So I would take to coming up in front of the class and relating some old story that I had seen, especially horror movies, everyone loved. Everyone loved to, so I've always enjoyed telling stories. And then it's just something that I wanted to do. I was writing stories for children for a very long time. And then I started sending them to get published, they were getting published in a local newspaper in Bangalore. And then after that, I moved to writing novels, and it's just been going on.
And one more question, how do you encourage these people to, every one of the teenagers, because it is one skill that is going to take you so ahead in life. What are the tips that you would share with these kids so that they inculcate the habit of writing things and how to go about it?
How many of you want to be writers here? Okay, so how many of you like to read books? So if you want to be a good writer, you also have to read books. So one of the things that I've noticed a lot is that many people want to write. No one wants to read. So the thing is that unless you read, especially in the genre that you're writing, you are not going to know what is usually done in this particular genre. For instance, if you want to write horror, you have to read at least 1 or 2 Stephen King novels, because he is the master of horror writing in the world. So the thing is that I always say you should know the rules before you attempt to break them. So whatever it is that you want to write, if you want to write something, you should read a lot in that genre. For some reason, a lot of people think that writing romance is very easy, especially men. I want to tell them, go give it a try. Try karo na. If it's so easy, because they think, oh, you romance writers, what is there? Ladka hai, ladki hai, dono ko pyar ho gaya. I'm like, try it. Try writing it. So, all genres deserve respect. So, if you want to write a certain genre, my only advice is that you should read. Read as much as you can in that genre.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very enlightening. And once more, we are all going to read the novel that has recently come up, that is Everything Sucks by Andaleeb Wajid. I hope everything is clear about the book. You're going to find it at Amazon or Crosswords. Okay? Thank you so much for this session.